Next, I am going to show you how to create a fuel sensor for objects that have external fuel level sensors connected to them. For example, a capacitive fuel sensor. First, I would right click on this object. I would go to sensors. In this menu, I will click on the add button. Now on the function, I will select fuel sensor. I will name it fuel level. I can decide to duplicate the name of the function if I want. Here, the description, I would like to name it as the function for sensor. By default, the type is selected as dedicated. And on the field, I will click this button to choose the data parameter that is showing the fuel value. If I scroll down, I'll see param 270. This parameter value is showing us the data that is coming from the external fuel level sensor. The unit, I will name it liters. What I will do next is to set my refueling and drain threshold. In this case, according to the size of my tank, I am going to make it 5. The same for my drain threshold. Why do I make it 5? If there is a drop in the fuel level, a sudden drop for 5 liters, the system is going to trigger it as a drain, 5 or more. And the same applies to the refueling. The maximum speed for filling detection, I'm going to choose to make it 5. Next, the frame for my analysis difference. You can read more about this on our documentation page. I will choose to make this the minimum, which is 3, and smoothen my graph and make it 3 as well. Next, I will decide to consider speed so that the drains and fillings will only be taken into account when the speed is 0 or when the vehicle is not moving. Now, I will decide not to filter the null values because I want to receive every single data. I do not want to filter any data that is coming from the device. Next, I will decide to remove symmetric fillings and drains so I can stop receiving false alerts or drains in case the vehicle climbs a hill or tries to descend. Next, I will make this sensor active or so that it can monitor the data that is coming. Next, I will save. So we can see that the fuel level sensor has been added. The next thing is to add my calibration table. How do I do that? I will double click on the sensor I just created. Next, I can decide to edit and manually add my calibration table or upload an already existing calibration table. In this case, I don't have an already existing calibration table. Therefore, I will decide to edit and add my own calibration table. For what I have, when the fuel level is 0, the sensor is giving me 1. Next, when the fuel level is 20 liters, the sensor is giving me 143. Next, when it was 40 liters, the sensor gave me 221. Next, when it was 60, the sensor gave me 346. Next, when it was 80, the sensor gave me 449. Next, when it's 100, the sensor will give me 611. Then I would save. If I am to refresh this graph, it will show me a beautiful graphical representation of my data. Now I can close this and save. As you can see, the fuel sensor and the calibration table has been added successfully. I will now close this menu and hover my vehicle. I can see that my fuel sensor is there and it's showing 100 liters. I can click, and on the map I can see that I am seeing 100 liters of fuel level here. So this is a simple way to add the fuel level sensor on the pilot user interface.